We're chasing comedy, working on jokes, working on bits, seeing what sticks, seeing what stinks. We're Brian and Dustin, and we're chasing comedy.
Oh, take some focus factor.
What's that?
Focus factor.
Oh, what is that?
What do you think? I
think
you figure it out. Yeah, this is it's what people with ADHD take when they don't have like a physician that prescribes real what is that, Ritalin?
And that's what you take? What's in it?
God knows. God only knows. Probably just a lot of B12. It's all a scam, but it's a placebo. It actually works, though. I'll be honest with you. I've taken a lot of the over the counter scam type, Alpha Brain, which is a big one that works well for me. But I think it's once you get enough kind of vitamins concentrated or whatever, I think it does kind of give you a little bit of that focus energy. But out of all of them, I think this might be the better one. This one, the Alpha Brain, it's not, it doesn't make me a good, focus factor doesn't make me a good MMA fighter like Alpha Brain does, but it does give me,
it doesn't instantly give you the ability, Muay Thai jiu-jitsu skills.
No,
instantly.
It doesn't. But I always think the earth is flat when I take it. But focus factor gives me a little I can read a book if I'm gonna work on my screenplay or whatever. It helps. With like tons of coffee or whatever. But it's I don't know. I have a very bad energy level and a bad focus level, so I can't, and I have taken the real stuff, and wow, is that stuff good? Like the
really?
What's the stuff? Not Ritalin. What's the other one that everybody takes?
Adderall.
Is it
Adderall? Oh my gosh! I mean, that is a dream. That stuff is amazing, and it's addictive because I don't think it's good for your body, but it's like, wow. Yeah, I took it a couple times, and it was just like it changed my world. I was just like, getting stuff done. It was like that movie Limitless.
This is Ritalin?
Adderall, same thing.
Oh, Adderall.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are they for the same thing? I'm not up on this. One's a stimulant. Ritalin is for kids with.
It's an adult version of Ritalin. Yeah.
Okay.
It's adults are less, but they they don't have concentration, so it's like it's a more of it's a refined version of that for someone in their 40s or whatever. Like it's just a different version. Well, some people take it all the way, and I think it rots your brain eventually, but once in a while use is not bad. I did it. My girlfriend had some old ones, which is always funny when you're just like, is this 2005
right
Adderall gonna take me down? But I just took it, and it was like, I literally was working on a script like that movie Limitless. I was like speaking languages I never knew I knew. I was like doing all kinds of stuff.
And why did you stop?
I'm an addict, and I just can't take anything for a long period of time. It's just the instinct now that I'm sober that I just like I'll switch to something else after I finish this bottle. I just can't be all in on one thing. And it's good.
Right.
It's good and bad. It's the good part is like, like I'll go, whether it's bad food or whatever, like I never do anything too long. I just, I get my fix, and then I have to move to something either stronger, which is the the addict, or the sober person is like, I shouldn't just keep doing that, So I don't know. I'm just all mixed up in here, Brian. But it's the Adderall, big fan. If you're, but I just can't do it. But
you hear that,
definitely
kids?
Fun. Big fan.
That you get the stamp of approval from Dustin Chafin?
I would do it if I had if I had a stash. I would do it once a month. I think I could do that. Just like I have a writing weekend or something. I would do that. It's like, Carlin never really smoked weed in his later years, but he smoked it to punch up his act. He would write everything out and color code it and all that. And then for punches, he would smoke weed and to write the punches. So I get that. Like he wasn't, smoking all the time, but it was like
does anyone, speaking of that, does anyone know what his process was in terms of like, because you wouldn't see him at the, the Comedy Cellar. Like I always wondered what.
Some at the Strip though, a few times.
No, I'm sure over the years, but I'm talking about those late specials. Like I saw some video online of him working those jokes on some small place somewhere, but like there was a certain incredible, obviously, precision to everything that he did in his act. And I don't know if he toured and worked those jokes. Like you wouldn't hear much about that.
He did. I saw him probably 5 times live and talked to him twice. And I saw the same special, like working it out, the same special, like I guess 3 different performances. And the first performance, he was in Vegas working it out. It was like a sold out Vegas show, and he had his notes on the stool, and he was just working it. He walked a bunch of people. I've talked about that, where he just did. He's talking about religion and all these old people who got up and then he just yelled at him. He was like, "Who did you think you were seeing?" Like he just yelled.
Yeah, what year was it?
It was amazing. Towards the end there, I don't know, 2000 something. After You Were All Diseased, probably that special. So probably what was that, 2006 or 7? But yeah, and he would work it out. He would like have the notes on even like a big show in Vegas. He'd have the notes out. And then I saw him in Mississippi at one of those weird Isla Capri casino things, steamboat things or whatever. And he was working it out. It was, you know what I'm talking about? I did a tour of them, actually. They're like on the water so they can legally do gambling or something. Yeah,
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
I
did it with Eddie Ift. It was awful. We just got just bombed every night.
What you mean, okay, so this is what I was curious about. Like Carlin would literally charge money. Like he would go to play a huge place and he would be like most, like I saw Billy Burr at Comedy Village. He was doing new stuff and he had notes and he was working it out. You could see it getting like incrementally, better and stuff. So he's currently doing that while he's doing Glengarry. But so Carlin would go on tour and book himself and then just be working stuff out at these big sold out hour and a half, whatever it was, shows. Did he have Dennis Blair open for him?
Usually Dennis Blair. I think there might have been a different guy one time. Yeah, I mean it's Carlin, so it's like watching Hendrix come up with a new riff. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares. You're so excited. I mean, even Bergazzi's like that. He does these arenas and it's all brand new stuff and it's all like it's like placed in front of him, just notes and like everything. Okay. And so he kind of looks at them like they're on speakers and stuff. So the audience can't quite see them. Sometimes he has a teleprompter thing in the back, just bullet points, Okay. I saw Bill Maher do a set at the Beacon and it was all teleprompter. He read it word for word. And it destroyed me because it was at the time when I was kind of really into him. And then it was just like, dude, you didn't because we were setting kind of by the teleprompter. So he didn't stray from it at all. He just read it. He just read an hour of comedy and just no going off of it at all.
Okay, but why is that bad? Like because I know for me, like if I miss, I get this bit now where I got to memorize all these British actors, and if I nail the list, it's an applause break, and if I stray from the list, it's not. Like it's amazing. Like that's how it's actually kind of amazing.
I get it. I mean, Bill Maher's not Carlin, so I'm a little less whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like reading it is different than like, oh, hold on a second, and then getting into.
Well, no, I mean, I guess I'm wondering, like, literally, he was like literally on stage, like an anchor man or
like
whatever,
like his show, like his monologue on his show, but he did it for an hour, and
he didn't move, he
moved, but he was still. You could tell he's reading a teleprompter, just like you could tell all those guys are reading teleprompters. Yeah, like it was like that for an hour. It just feels. It takes something out of the performance. I would rather see Richard Pryor get heckled because somebody's late on a special than him being perfect. Like there's something
right. No,
the realness of it.
No, what I'm asking is like maybe he was working it out. Like maybe he he was memorizing it for.
I think that's what he does.
tour.
I think he doesn't do the clubs. He doesn't do the Chappelle thing or the Chris Rock thing.
Yeah.
Or the Bill Burr thing. I think he's just, he's so Hollywood and doing his show and everything. A lot of these guys don't have time to go to the Irvine Improv and do a weekend.
Speaking of that, have you seen some of Josh Johnson's stuff? From the Daily. He's from the Daily Show.
I haven't.
He's like, oh, good Lord.
Is he good?
It's astonishing. No.
Okay.
The guy's put out like 4 specials in the last month. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he does, but he literally puts out a special about one thing, tariffs. Okay. And he put out a 45-minute special about tariffs. And it's like him, and it's unbelievable. He's like a prodigy, that kid. He did a thing about Luigi and getting shot,
Adam, can you bring him up? I don't, whoever this guy is he's talking about. I know a boxer named Jack Johnson, but that's not it, actually.
Yes. The guy that knocked out Jim Jeffries. Yes, we all that's the last.
The guy that Gary Goldman got in a fight with. Oh no,
yeah,
that's Kevin Brennan.
Oh no, that's Kevin Brennan. That's not Jack Johnson. Josh Johnson.
I love
That's
Kevin
not
Brennan.
Howard Johnson.
I'm a Kevin Brennan guy. I love him.
Yeah,
he's so ridiculous. I love him.
Yes.
He's very underrated.
But I mean, I don't know what Josh Johnson. I don't know how he does it. I don't understand.
Well, I know how he does it. I know how he does it. It's like once, I see it all the time. It's just the same way. Like all these famous people can pump out specials. It's like once you have love, you can do stuff like that. You can people show up. Number one. You get when a fan base is in your corner, you can do a new special about tariffs. It's when you're fighting for 20 minutes somewhere and for people to know who you are is when, it's just, they embrace
I get what you're saying. I do understand that love has a big, is a major factor in that. I just have to say though, that what I've watched of his specials and some, I'm like, every one of them has a stream of consciousness riff and several of them that are just amazing to listen to. And you just go, okay, that's a really amazing point for a young guy.
Yeah. Where does he perform? Where are these specials?
All over the place. I think he was in Baltimore recently and Adam is working feverishly to both.
Is he a black kid?
Yes.
Oh, I think I know who it is. Yeah.
Yeah. He's on the Daily Show and
okay.
He's one of the correspondents.
Adam, you can't find a picture? Oh, there he is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he is Gen Z or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
And so it's he's the hot whatever, But I wonder though too, it's to just be free, on stage and not have to, prove yourself. I'm not saying anything taken away from this kid. I've seen some of his clips. He is funny.
Yeah.
But it's also familiar. It's a lot of times these new guys. I'm like, nah, dude. I've heard that's very Chappelle. That's very this or that. But I feel like there is something to be, embraced and not have to, work for it.
Well, most guys put out clips. I mean, to put out an entire 45-minute to an hour special, literally riffing on tariffs. It's pretty amazing. I mean,
it is amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's also.
I mean, I couldn't do that. I don't think I could do that even if I had love.
Yes, you could.
Okay.
I know you could. If you were under the banner of the Daily Show, I think you could.
Okay.
It's I'm just telling you, these things make people the people are drawn to it because of that. Number one, and then also is your TikTok presence is not what It's this kid he's crushed social media. I mean, he is. Yeah. I mean, millions and millions. I mean, the kid is always coming up in my feed. And I think that is everything too. It's just this kid is always and it's like I said, they don't, and also I don't think these guys have comedy ears, man. They're just spewing this special. I'm sure it's great. I'm not trying to, I've heard a lot of his stuff and it is funny, but there's also it's like I don't know. It's a hard thing to explain, but I just feel like watching people that don't know who you are as opposed to people that are, infatuated with you on social media, you could say whatever you want. I'm just saying, like when I have people, like when I do sobriety shows, like it's like all the audience is there. They know what I'm going to do. I could get up and talk about anything about it and they love it because they're like, this guy knows whatever. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a cushion to it. I'm not taking anything away from this guy. I'm not jealous. I think he's great, but I just do think like Lewis Black, prime example. Lewis Black was the most phenomenal comic I'd ever seen in my life. Forever. He was like the 90s guy, always. I followed him, had almost quit comedy. Like was crazy good. After Kinnison, he was the guy that kind of did the yell thing and pulled it off. I think nobody could really do the yell thing as well as him after Kinnison.
Yes.
He was great. And he was emceeing like at Gotham in like 2002 and whatever. Like he just wasn't popping. And then once he got the Daily Show, he was the same comic. He just then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, he's so funny. He was always funny, and you could always find him at a comedy club. You could find him on some channel somewhere. But once he got that blessing from Jon Stewart, then everybody else wanted to listen and wanted to be a part of it and wanted to hear his rants and see it. So there's like a knighting that happens in comedy, it's like that.
Yeah. Fame is as an amazing fame and celebrity. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, fame and celebrity are like amazing things. Like I was thinking of a bit and I had a bit for this and I cannot remember it right now. I should have brought it in today. Because I was riffing on it, just being like the audience not knowing who I am. There you go. Focus. Yeah.
I'll mail you some.
Yeah, mail me some of that right now. I could use some of that right now because I'm like, what was the damn bit? It was like something about you guys don't know me. I know we've talked about funny, not famous before. It's like if I was famous, if you're funny, you don't have to. If you're famous, you don't really have to. I'm trying to, walk that line between saying if I was funny, you guys would be laughing much harder. If I was famous, you'd be laughing much harder right now. But at the moment, but I haven't reached that level yet. So
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. It's like it's just And then, I mean, people could turn on you, and the way they turned on Michael Richards and whatever, and they don't care you're famous, and it can go really bad sometimes too. Because the expectation can be high, right? That why isn't he funny? It's like, I don't know. It's Chris Rock. He's working stuff out. He's not always going to crush when he's doing a brand new vulnerable bit. Like I've seen guys like that, not do well because they were truly working something out that was just unpolished and unfinished. And so, well, I
mean, I don't think that you can like Billy's doing a couple spots at the Village, and I saw him and. Some of the bits absolutely killed, but and they knew who he was, and some of the bits didn't, and they weren't quite there yet. And so his level of fame, and Seinfeld used to say this, a lot of people say this, that your level of fame will take you, the audience will give you the first 10 minutes or whatever, I don't know, whatever. But
I give you 10 to 15, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily. I don't know how true that is in terms of like you still get that cascade of goodwill that kind of can go ongoing, and I don't want to,
Well, if I ever get really famous, I'm only doing 10-minute sets just so I can get that love from the audience.
But Billy was huge, but Billy, a few of those bits were like the audience just went no. Don't think that's funny.
Yeah, and that's developing a good relationship with him, and he's working it out or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I've seen both happen. I've seen bits that are not good get laughs, and bits that aren't good, and the audience is honest. So it's like it goes. But when it comes to like, putting something together and like audiences rallying around you and all that, that has a lot to do with the fame that's behind you, and the audience is addicted to fame. Like Taylor Swift, for example, is somebody that like, half of those girls don't even know why they're Taylor Swift fans. It's this ball of fame that they just wrap themselves around, and every high school girl they know or whatever, however it happened, and they're just, oh my God. I mean, do they really love the music? I don't know. I think they just caught up in this fame. But just the idea of like MTV, you know, made me think Twisted Sister and Bon Jovi were like good bands, you know. And then I got older, I was like, nah, that wasn't the case at all.
I'm sure Bon Jovi would be happy. They would be happy to be put in the same category as Twisted Sister, right?
I mean, if I have a choice, I might do Twisted. I'll be honest with you. They made me think David Lee Roth had a good solo career. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we was forced in our heads. You know, it was just like all this. You know, but it's important. I think it's like, but it started in the 50s. Like every time once a commercial happened or once a thing happened, it's like everybody went out and bought whatever black and white. You know, in between minstrel, whatever. Like people were buying stuff.
Oh, like a hype thing. Yeah, like Frankie Avalon. Yeah. What about like a Fabian and the Idolmaker stuff where they took someone, you know, if you ever watched the movie The Idolmaker, obviously where they took the kid.
Yes.
Who's a dishwasher and he's a good looking kid. And they just taught him a few moves and they gave him singing lessons and they turned him into an idol just from the hype involved. I wish someone would do that for me, by the way. Can I just say that? I wish someone would
social
take
media
me.
Social media is supposed to be that way. Returning back to this kid, you know, who's funny. Social media has made him. If social media did not exist, I do not think this kid would be as popular. And I don't mean to take anything away from his comedy.
Well, no one would. I mean, you would have to build a career.
Mike Britt would crush that kid to pieces on stage, but he would. He would. Yeah. He would crush him to pieces. If you just put two comics back to back, didn't know their names, didn't know who they were.
I'm not. And this is. But I do want you to watch.
I've seen a lot of his stuff. Now I know.
No, I'm not talking about clips. I'm talking about him taking on one. I'm talking about a 45-minute, and it ain't a TED Talk. I mean, I guess you could. That's the thing. It's like I'm watching the thing about Luigi, and I'm going, that's really interesting. Now. It's probably, I didn't watch enough of it. I watched like 20 minutes and I'm going, this is pretty amazing that this kid is like riffing on this, sure you know?
Right. And it'll probably just make me angry that this kid's so good. I get it. But, you know, but
good to know.
I'll give it a shot. But
it will just infuriate. Well, I'm here to infuriate you. That's what I'm here to trigger you.
I don't I always like the older work. I always like the later work in an artist. Everybody's always like, I like their first album. I like the album when they checked out and they didn't have anything to worry about. You know?
Wow.
I like those Beach Boy albums where they were just like barely understand them and stuff.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? I like Elvis. I like Elvis when he was just like fat and pilled up. I don't want young, good-looking Elvis.
Not Brian Wilson's sandbox period when he was like, wasn't he?
I like
wasn't he sitting in a sandbox for like 2 years thanks to Eugene?
I like a comic nobody cares about anymore. Like that's the kind of stuff I like. You know, I don't know, but you know. I don't know. That's just me. I feel like a kid is a kid. I always feel that like I don't care how good you are. Yeah, you're still 20. You don't you don't get it yet. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, but then again, when I remember seeing Chappelle when he was young, and I was like, holy cow, he's so good. He was a prodigy.
He was good. He was good, but he wasn't this Dick Gregory wannabe thing. It was more like he was a great comic. He wasn't trying to tell me anything. He wasn't trying to tell me anything. And
but I'm talking age and comic ability.
Yeah, but that's
all I'm talking about.
That's a different thing. Yeah. You know, I'm talking about somebody trying to, and I'm joking about the music stuff, but I'm talking about somebody trying to tell me something. Killing Me Softly was phenomenal, but he wasn't trying to tell me anything. He wasn't trying to like sway my thinking about life. Like he was just like, if I'm wearing a police officer's uniform, does that make me a police officer? Like it was hilarious. It was like it was just, you know, it was just funny. It was like this kid's trying to tell us something, and I'm sure it's great. But
So no, I think you're saying, but what you're saying is you like his earlier stuff.
I did, but I don't like Carlin, for example. Carlin wasn't trying to tell us anything until he got old, and then he started trying to tell us stuff. But his early stuff, he wasn't. It's like
I know. And which one do you prefer? That's what I'm trying to. Which one do you prefer?
The old one. But I also feel like
you mean the later ones?
I'm okay with old Stephen Wright because he's never trying to tell me something. But it's like if you're gonna preach, then I want you to be a little older. That's just
wait. Okay, this is what I'm confused about. When you say older stuff, that means stuff he did early or stuff he did later?
No, later. I mean
okay.
later. That's what I mean.
Got it.
Like Carlin later is I'm okay with him yelling at me and stuff because he's lived a life. But early stuff he wasn't doing that. He was hippy dippy and all that stuff. So it wasn't like he was trying to do that.
We got the wheel. Let's write some jokes.
I don't want to be neutral.
Wheel up.
Or what?
And I don't think there's any politics on the wheel.
Okay, good. Well, you wrote it, so we'll have to yell at you if there are. All right.
Oh, okay. So this is being bad at relaxing.
Oh, wow. I'm yeah. Okay.
Speaking of Adderall.
Right.
Actually, I'm very good at relaxing to the point where it is a problem. So I don't, that's my problem is I'm bad at living life and doing what I need to be doing. I think it's
okay. Now we have a good setup. Now here's a good premise right here. Yeah. You're bad at relaxing. Boom. I'm in.
No. I'm bad at not relaxing. No, I'm good at relaxing. That's my premise.
No, to the point. No, but to your own detriment. You're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I'm too good at relaxing. Yes. Is your highlight line? This is the bit. I'm Dustin Chafin, I'm too good at relaxing.
But I think it's a comic thing too. I mean, it's like we spend our lives like a lot of times. It's like we're not doing anything until 7:30. It's like what is the pressure sometimes to come up with a new tag to like figure out a clean show for the early show? Like there's so much
doing a bit about why you're too good at relaxing right now. This is what we're
but that's what I'm saying. It's just like the comic life in general is like it forces you to watch too much Netflix. Like it forces you to eat ice cream at 3 a.m. It forces you to like spend money that you shouldn't be spending because it's this weird art form that is designed around late evening. That's why a lot of us are addicts and stuff. It just because it's just too easy not to drink. Most of us are performing at bars. Most of us are performing at a casino with a buffet and a thing. And so it's like everything is designed to be a sloth. It's designed to be, it is all the deadly sins in one.
So Dustin, you are too good at relaxing.
Yes.
To the point, folks. He's too good at relaxing, folks.
The mic's out. The regular microphone's out. Here we go.
The plastic
it's getting serious. We can't hear you. We can't hear you because you put the
here we go.
There we go.
That's the prop mic. Look, I'm really bad at relaxing. I mean, I'm really good at it. I'm so good at it. I have got this down, this whole relaxing thing. I am a ninja. I am a Zen master of relaxing. I mean, you could put me
wasting time. I am the king of wasting time. Absolutely.
Well, it's wasting time, or it's like you can put me in the middle of a battlefield, and I could take a nap very easily, right in the middle, because I'm just like very good at night. But
I am a ninja. I am a nap ninja.
Okay.
I could take a nap right now.
Okay. Right. You can do that on stage. There you go. I could pass out. I could easily, if you gave me someone threw me up one throw pillow, and you're gonna watch a narcoleptic on stage, I could do 10 minutes of napping.
I can nap. No, but I'm one of those sweet. Like my girlfriend, it's very hard for her sometimes to sleep. Like she needs a certain she has to have like a sound machine. She's good with the ocean going on. It's got the door has to be shut a certain way. The closets can't be opened. It's like she's got to have the right temperature, the thing. I'm opposite.
No.
I could go down anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, Gail, girlfriend's like that too. She's absolutely. I move. I twitch one muscle and she's awake, and I'm completely in a coma. Yeah. I could sleep through anything. Nothing bothers me. I could go right back to sleep when I wake up. I couldn't care less. And anything disturbs her sleep patterns. It's a week of angst for me.
I could drink a pot of coffee and go to sleep right after.
Yeah. I think I'm that way as well. I'm pretty sure. By the way, what's the tattoo on what does that say on your arm? Your left arm, I believe.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Choctaw. That is my tribe.
Got it.
Oklahoma.
Got it. Are the Choctaw very good at relaxing?
It's called just another bad decision. It's it's called too much relaxing. You just get dumb tattoos.
Speaking of which, okay, the Choctaw, I heard they were really good at napping.
They are good at napping. Yeah. I mean, they had some warriors that did the warrior stuff, but then I was part of the nap tribe, and we would just like let them go out and fight the cowboys or whatever they were fighting, and then
this might explain why there's not a lot of Choctaw around.
It's true. Right? We got ambushed and during our nap time. During nap time.
Yeah. Of all the skill sets as a warrior tribe you want to hone, napping is not the one you want to be known for.
Let me take this a little further. I think it's just like, it's just this generation in general is very much a part of, wasting time and just kind of like doing anything but like serious things. For some reason, like I don't know how the economy's happening at all. Like because we're all on social media way too long. I feel like everybody's just popping up videos and like does anybody even work anymore? Like I go to towns and I see people, and there's obviously people have jobs and have houses and things. I don't understand how they're doing it, but I feel like this generation is the most kind of relaxed in wasted time that I've ever seen any generation before. I mean I remember just my grandpa just being tired from work. I don't see anybody tired from work anymore. Like I don't think anybody is like coming home beat up from a long day of work. Look at the three of us, here on this podcast. It's like we're comics, we're coaches, we're whatever. That's about the extent of it. And then Adam is like hanging screens and making his studio nice, and everybody's making a living.
You're indicting. You're indicting. You're indicting us for softness. You're indicting our softness.
It's like nobody's got grease on their hands. Nobody's like
no calluses.
I mean, I got a few calluses from the gym, maybe or whatever. Like this is, last week.
Funny. Wait, no, there's something funny about.
What?
No, but the difference between an older generation's calluses and where they are on a young person like today, right? And what they come from, like, you know what I mean? Like in the old days, you'd have guys with gnarled knuckles from working on a construction site. Yeah. And now you got Jimmy, like, I don't know, he's got the carpal tunnel. He's got carpal tunnel. I never understood carpal tunnel, by the way. That always bothered me. I don't think that's a real thing. There's no such thing as carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm sorry, that's not a thing. Because Rachmaninoff, how come Beethoven didn't have carpal tunnel? How come Billy Joel didn't have carpal tunnel syndrome? You know what I mean? You never heard about that with musicians. You never heard like, Charlie Parker.
Piano, it's spread out.
Charlie Parker, any of those things, you could say, what's the difference in that and keyboard? You know what the difference is? They hate the people on the keyboard. They hate their jobs. That's the only difference.
That's true. That's true.
That's
I
absolutely true.
That's kind of what I was trying to get at. Yeah, like absolutely. Yeah. It's just like,
there's their hate. The people who are at the keyboard and doing data entry somewhere. Meanwhile, Charlie Parker is doing repetitive. What is it? Rapid motion, repetitive motion stuff. But he loves what he's doing. He's in the zone.
Yeah.
And then
probably on heroin. He's probably on heroin, so that helps.
Whatever. You got to give something to get something. Okay. You want to.
It's stronger. It's stronger than Focus Factor. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. It's better than that stuff. And so you got Charlie Parker, you got Elton John doesn't have, you never heard this from any person playing the piano. No piano player ever or saxophone player ever had carpal tunnel syndrome. But that's everybody, and that's a keyboard. That's a piano keyboard you're playing. But if you're working on a computer, I have carpal tunnel. It's this completely made up thing because you didn't go for what you wanted in your life. And you're working there, you know what I mean? You're working at the DMV or something. Who knows?
All that stuff is fake. Dyslexia, that's fake. Like it's all.
That's fake. It's all fake.
It's all fake.
We need a list of fake ailments, Adam. Okay, all of these fake ailments. Yeah. What is it? Dyslexia?
Anxiety,
oh, you seriously?
Anxiety. That's fake.
ADD. Please stop it.
All fake.
Okay. No, I'm serious. Are you kidding me? Attention deficit disorder. there's no, what do you kid? Just, I have short attention span. He doesn't focus. I can't pay attention. I'm not interested in what you're doing. That's called, I'm disinterested in what's going on. It's
no,
not,
I agree.
you know,
I agree. I have that. I'm more of, I have whatever it is, but it's more daydreaming. I mean, when we were a kid, it was called daydreaming. You just looked out the window instead of listening to the teacher. And so he's a daydreamer. And then that was actually a beautiful phrase to call a kid a daydreamer. And now the kid is like, you know, he's got some.
He's pathological. Let's give him Adderall and Ritalin. Because
you got a bit on this, right? I feel like you have a big bit on this.
I did. I had a bit about the whole, you know, let's give him, here's some beta blockers for your anxiety. And by the way, don't say no to drugs, whatever. And say no to drugs on the way home from school. I think there's always something to the whole made up. I mean, somebody should do this because I think it's really scathing that they, because I don't know if you will. Where's the DSM-5? If you ever look, that's a great bit. If the DSM-5, if you know what that is, that's for the psychotherapist. That's a diagnosis of psychological maladies or whatever it's called. And every year it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Well, even therapy is ridiculous. Like after a while, I'll sit there in therapy and I'll be like, all right, I choose to be not well. And so, and in the middle of it, I'll be like, all right, I guess I'm going to repeat this thing again. I've been
saying this about you for years, by the way.
I'm going to bring up some family issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up some sort of, failure, something I'm not doing. I'm going to bring up some sort of whatever, but I feel like I'm okay. Like my therapist, like I was doing every day and now we've cut down to every other week.
Wait a minute. You were doing therapy every day.
Not every day. I'm sorry. Every week. I was doing it every week. Now I'm doing it every other week. And I feel like, and the only reason I'm not doing it at all is because I like my therapist. And so I feel like I just feel bad letting him go completely, but I'm fine with it. Like,
wait a minute.
I don't really want to do therapy anymore.
Hold on. Let's go back. This is a serious codependent issue. You're not quitting therapy because you don't want to, because you don't want to hurt your therapist's feelings.
I mean, it's the same reason
That's hilarious.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like, he's a good therapist. He's helped me out. He was there for me. But at the same time, I feel like I'm okay without him. But I feel bad because I'm like, I don't, because I've given him the option. I'm obviously giving clear messages that I don't need therapy anymore, but he's not quite getting it. So I'm just all right, we'll do every other week. That's fine.
Yeah, but think about this. Psychoanalysis, when psychoanalysis was in its heyday, psychoanalysis, and nobody even really thinks about this, but psychoanalysis is when you would go 5 days a week. Like you would be literally there every day, like it was a job. And you would have transfers, and the therapist wouldn't say anything, like literally barely say anything. And you would attach
Mine barely
to him.
Says anything. Mine barely says anything.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't. Right. Barely does anything. He just like he's very old school. He looks, I've told you, I've talked about him. He's the clown whisperer, all the seller guys, everybody. Yeah, but a lot of it is because it's like it's comics, so it's not like he's going to be able to speak anyway. Comics are always.
And you do Zoom with him from LA.
Yeah, I used to do New York in office, but I do Zoom now. Yeah.
And what's he charge you?
It's a sliding scale. It depends on where you're at in your comedy.
And how low is it slid?
Well, I used to pay him in CDs. Like I've been that low, because I dated.
Is it more than $200?
No, it can be if you're Gary Goldman, maybe, but if you're like me, no. It just depends where you're at. That's
pretty funny. That's pretty funny that he bases his fee on how many credits you have, TV credits. That's great.
Well, how much money you have. Like if you're like, I've been able to pay him well when I'm doing well, and then if I'm not doing well, he's cool. I'll be like, dude, sorry, I can only do 40.
Okay, now I'm fascinated by this because I want to know what it is. Since he's known for working with comedians, what exactly does his approach, to do that? How does that? Because I immediately have like a cynical thing about that, which I know is my issue, which is like, well, if he's working just with comedians, that's kind of weird.
Not just.
No, I know.
It's just a lot of comedians go to him. He sees everybody.
yes, no, he sees a lot of sees a
And
lot
it's
of
all
comedians,
because of me. I'm the first one, and so I got everybody hooked.
Interesting.
So
you were the
I'm
pathfinder.
Yeah, I'm the pathfinder for sure.
So, but his knowledge, obviously, talking to so many comedians, you develop a certain knowledge of the business and how comedians think and how their emotions, like how damaged they are and everything else. So, what is it that makes him good and with comedians? I'm fascinated by that. I almost want to go just to go. What is your approach that makes you special about that towards comedians, or just because because like he could go, I talked to Gary Gulman earlier today and he was having the same problem as you, and that's kind of comforting.
Yeah, well, he definitely knows the business. Did you see Colin Quinn's last special?
Yes.
Well, that's him. He's the therapist in it. He's one of the therapists.
Yeah.
I think he had a couple of therapists in it. So, well, first of all, it's I think it has a lot to do with the listening factor, because he is a guy that doesn't yap a lot. And so I feel like comedians need the mic. So we basically all just need an audience. At the end of the day, we just need a guy that's going to listen. And he does understand the world. Like if I say Este's being a bitch, she's not booking me this month, he knows what that means. You don't have to explain what Este is. You don't have to explain what Gnome is. You don't have to explain anything. Yeah. You know what that is. Funny. If he says, oh, wow, the comic strip is a lot of work, or this is that, or this is, I didn't get Montreal, or this guy, or whatever. You don't have to be like, so what's that like not getting Montreal? He knows what that means. He's heard it a million times.
So it's like, I'm trying to come up with a phrase or comedic twist on this, but it's like it's terrible, but it's like open psyche night. Open psych night. I don't know, whatever.
No,
like instead of an open mic night.
Whenever I've gone to a therapist, before him or whatever, or in the past or whatever, they overanalyze what being a stand-up comedian is, and it drives me crazy. It's very textbook or whatever. Yes. So it's like he doesn't do that. He takes all that out of it. He knows what a starving artist is. He knows what a underrated artist is. He knows what an anxious artist is. Like he gets all those things. And so he's just, I don't know, he's just good. I think, and like I said, it's a sliding scale. So it's like a lot of us are broke.
I guess there's definitely something I can totally see where there would be something very, very appealing about having someone who has access to a bunch of other comedians and goes, yeah, that's the thing that I've heard from a million guys. And then you go, oh, good, I'm not crazy, or I'm not damaged, or I'm not unique, in a good way. Like,
but why wouldn't you, as a comic, you also want what all the other comics have had? Why wouldn't you want Larry David's therapist? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to partake in, something like that, or who's the guy that passed away that was on Larry David's show? What's his name? Richard Lewis. Yeah, like Richard Lewis. Like, why wouldn't you want the guy that had to listen to that dude, And so it's like, I think it's a lot of it is that appeal. Whereas like in Esquire magazine, that was my quote. I said, comics are hacky, so they're going to do the same thing everybody else is doing. So that's why they all see this guy.
That's
that was my big Esquire magazine quote.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, he's just, I don't know. There's just something about it. I do think we're special creatures. I do think very few people kind of get our vibe and let us be, which is the biggest thing. Is like, because every comic is a lot in their own way, whether it be they're too neurotic or they're too loud or they're too, anxious or whatever it is. It's like at the end of the day, we just want to be.
We're gonna have to go deep dive on this, not on this show, but there's a book. A book that no one's ever read and no one owns. And I actually interviewed this guy for like 3 hours for something that I was a project and something. And it's a fascinating book. It's a psychological book, and it's one of the least. It's probably the worst selling self-help book of all time. I said this to him. I said, I have never seen a book like how like every self-help book is like 3 weeks to a new you. Okay, like 3 weeks to a new you. 6 months, 1 month to a new you. This book is like 30 years to a new you. That's what this is called, okay? That's what this book is like. This book basically pulls no punches and tells you, like is the most brutal. This is the most brutal book about psychology and how difficult it is, and how people resist it and won't get better, and why you won't get better, because the appeal of not getting better gives you something that no getting better will ever give you, right?
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's like, and do we really have to get better? You know,
No, but I mean, when
really,
we say that,
you know,
no, I know what you're saying, but I'm using that in a specific way, but basically saying that people, it's like the whole thing is about accepting yourself as you are. You're supposed to love yourself as you are. But when I say get better, what I mean is like be more loving of yourself completely and less neurotic, less self-tortured,
But that's got to be careful though. It's like, this is what I like about Alan as a therapist, because he doesn't make you too good so that you're not funny on stage.
That's the question. That's the question you always talk about with comics.
It's just enough.
But that's the thing. If I got well, would I still be funny? That is the question. So many comics always go. If I was healthy, would I still be funny?
Well, there's a lot of people ask me that when they ask about him. Big famous comics talk to me about him and stuff, and I say no, he doesn't take that thing away. But But
I don't think I think that.
But take Gary Goldman, for example, who's a fantastic comedian. However, I do feel like, he did take a shift almost a little too into the therapy thing, and his comedy kind of reflects that. And he was able to be successful with that particular thing to some audiences.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? That you hear this about Howard Stern and you hear this about Billy Burr. People online say this about Billy Burr now because Billy's been obviously doing some work on himself, and he's happier now. Okay. Yeah. And they're saying that, he's not as funny because he's like talking about certain things that he might not have talked about. And I find that so fascinating.
Not as funny.
Well, I find, but
he's not. Okay. And that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Chris Rock is not as funny when he got rich. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And that's what people have to realize. It's like, you're never going to be as funny as when you're like messed up and hungry. You're not. You're just not. When you don't have a good life, you're just gonna be a little whatever. But
I think that's a good button to end the show on, folks. if you're gonna get healed, you're gonna stop being funny, and you got to accept that. Okay, so just know that.
You're not gonna.
Do you want to be happy or do you want to be funny? No. Is Dustin Chafin, folks?
No, you're not gonna stop being funny, but. Yeah. There is going to be take Chris Rock as a great example. His early stuff when he was on fire and hungry, hilarious. The later stuff, it's a lot of talking about hanging out with Puffy and all this stuff, and which and that didn't age well. But I feel like all that stuff. It was about being famous, and so a lot of it is about. There's some comedians that don't do that, but there's a lot of comedians. Kevin Hart does it. There's the comedians that they do it. Who's the Indian kid where they talk about the very famous comedian. He's always at the Cellar. He was very famous. He was in all the Judd Apatow movies. Come on. We need some focus factor here.
I know we need to focus. Where are you? It begins with an A. It's got an A in it. It's got an A in it.
What?
It's got an A in it.
Aziz. Yes,
Aziz Ansari.
Yeah. Aziz Ansari. And so like a lot of they talk about being famous and stuff. So I feel like it's just like there's just something there's a and it's like it's not that the other stuff's not funny. It's just that has a special place. Like take U2. Like you take U2, October, all that early stuff. There's just a rawness to it that's great. And then you take the other thing, the polished, Joshua Tree, which is great. But it doesn't have this thing. So same thing with comedians. You're just going to lose a little bit of that. And that's okay. You just move forward and you accept it.
I love the fact that here on Chasing Comedy, we are now presenting you with a stark choice, kids. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be funny? And you can't have both, okay?
You can have both. You're just not going to be as gritty. No, you're not joking. Yeah. It's real. I mean this 100%. But I'm just saying you're going to lose a little bit. And that's okay. I think it's like, some people defy it. I think George Carlin defied it. I think he
Louis,
definitely.
Louis. Some of his stuff lately is really funny, and I don't think that's. I don't think Louis gone to therapy. You know what I mean? Like
No.
not,
No, but the reason he's funny now is probably because he got knocked off his pedestal, and so he's having to, because he has the same energy as like a young Louis, because he has to do, instead of, I guess he is doing bigger places, but still, it's like there's something against him now, where I feel like a lot of people are not rooting with him like they used to. So now I feel has to be funnier. He has to be the funniest guy in the world, because everything is like dropped out from under him. And so he has to kind of pick it up. He can't be like half-ass on stage, because, everybody wants him to fail.
Well, I remember seeing John Cleese talk about comedy and how driven he was and how miserable he was. And we say miserable, you mean relatively miserable, like driven to succeed. And then he became much more at ease, much more happier, and not as productive, but just happier, just not as happy. I guess that's the arc that many people have,
When you're doing comedy to put food in your mouth, you're going to be a little funnier than like, you got a fourth house,
I guess that's a good point. Yes.
So I'm pretty funny right now.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Dustin has never.
It's on purpose.
It's
It's on purpose. Because I don't want.
Dustin has self-sabotaged his own career in order to maintain a certain his comedy edge. We've never lost our edge, Dustin. That's what makes this show special.
It keeps it fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a fun one. It was a weird one. I like it. We got
one spin of the wheel. One spin of the wheel. One spin of the wheel, and look what happened.
The wheel. I'm telling you, Adam. Good job on that wheel. And sometimes it takes us to a place we need to explore. Mm-hmm. But and anything I said about therapy is just mindless things I come up with out of my mouth. So it's good for certain people.
And shout out to certain
people.
Shout out
buy
to
this book, because this guy needs
buy this
money.
book. You will not be able to find this book. This is probably $100 on Amazon. Suffering from Illusion: The Secret Victory of Self-Defeat. Okay.
By Sayers B. Brenner.
By Sayers Brenner. Okay?
Oh, is that David Brenner's brother?
Yeah, it's David Brenner's brother. That's who it is. It's Shecky Brenner. Okay. Shecky. His less well known.
He's the Dennis Regan of psychotherapy.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And on that note, scene. Okay.
Ciao. All right.
All right.
Good job. Follow us, guys. We'll get some clips up in 2029.
Yes.
And if you could just, Adam's been busy. We get it, and we love him. But all
right.
Well, hopefully we'll get some stuff up. But follow us, click us, share us, all the good stuff.
Well, folks, that's our show. It's time for us to go. Make sure to follow us, give us a like, drop us a comment, and always subscribe. We're chasing comedy on all the socials. We hope you had a gas, had some laughs, and maybe you learned something too. Until next time, we're Brian and Dustin, and we're chasing comedy.